police custody. And okay. In the year 1997, India signed the United Nations Convention Against Torture, but as of 2022 March, it is not yet ratified by the Indian government. And after, if you see the custodial deaths, there are other kinds of killings which are happened by the police is encounter deaths or the fake encounters, extrajudicial killings, etc. So in this extrajudicial killings or encounters, etc., the police persons kill the persons who are in their custody, etc., and they claim that they killed the other person, those who are in custody, in self-defense. So here, most of the time, like if you see Forest Brigade, Veerappan, he was also killed in the fake encounter. Later on, it was proved. In many instances, and if you see in the Disha encounter case, which happened in Hyderabad, Shamshabad, near Shamshabad airport, in that also the court said that the four persons who were killed in the encounter, it is a fake encounter executed by the police. So here, even the police also kill the innocent persons, and sometimes innocent persons also they were sentenced or they were jailed due to lack of evidence or lack of maybe the during the trial, the persons might have not got the right kind of assistance by their family or whatever may be the reasons. So here, in extrajudicial killings or fake encounters, generally the police or armed forces, they claim they killed the other persons in self-defense, but in reality, it might not be true. And human trafficking is also a major thing where the individuals, the human beings, the trade of the human beings happens in our country, where the individuals are taken away by the individuals or mobs or the gangs, etc., for forced labor and for sexual slavery and for the purpose of commercial sexual exploitation. And here the trafficker might be the known persons to the individuals, or they might be the unknown persons, and whatever may be the reasons, human trafficking is also a major concern where the rights of the citizens are violated, as the state has a responsibility to protect the individuals, and it is the responsibility of the state to protect the individuals in the state, but in those kind of cases, the government might have failed, and human trafficking is also a major issue or threat to our nation. And one more thing is bonded labor. Bonded labor in a system where the landlords or the persons who gave money to these citizens or the people, where they borrow the money and to repay the money to the landlords, they work without any kind of wages. So here the landlords or the elders might pay them a pity of money, or these persons may work as bonded laborers throughout the day. They may do work for the landlords, etc. And that is also a major issue. Still, we can find the cases or instances where the people are working as for the landlords, etc., for getting a little bit of money or to repay the debt which they have taken or their elders might have taken. And if you see, untouchability is also a major human rights issue where it is in India, it is also being practiced. But the Constitution of India, under Article 17 of the Indian Constitution, the practice of untouchability was even abolished by law. But even though there are instances where the untouchability is being practiced by the individuals. And honor killings is also a problem where the individuals are killed by their own family members, etc. Uh, where the brides or bridegrooms are, in the name of various reasons, etc. These people might also be killed by the individuals. And if you see, there are instances of various instances where the Dalits or deprived sections of the society or minorities face various problems in a society. And if you see, for example, Karam Chedu massacre, where the Dalits are being killed by the Kamma landlords due to, and Sundur massacre, where also the Dalits are in the villages are killed in Andhra Pradesh on August 6th, 1991. And the Karam Chedu instance or incident which took place in the year 1985 on July 17th. So in those two cases, Karam Chedu massacre and Sundura massacre, where the Dalits are being killed due to the reasons of caste. And human rights violations are still happening in our country. Women's rights are violated and children's rights are violated by the individuals and the society. And here, human rights is a very complicated issue, but the governments, if you see, they have taken up various measures to protect the rights of the individuals in this country. And in during the communal violence also a lot of rights of the individuals are violated, and due to this communal riots occurs when the two communities belong to different religious organizations or the individuals, etc. They may kill each other. So the communal riots which took place during the partition of India between the Hindus and Sikhs and also Muslims. And if you see the in the year 1984 anti-Sikh riots, where the more than 2,000 Sikh community members are killed during the Operation Blue Star, which was executed under the guidance of Srimati Indira Gandhi, and later Hashimpura massacre, which was also happened in the year 1987. In this communal riots at Meerut, more than 19 members are killed, and there were 42 Muslim youths. They were killed. Their bodies were dumped in nearby irrigation canal. And in the year 1992, Bombay riots also took place, and in 2020, the Delhi riots also happened in our country, where that resulted in death of more than 51 persons, and among the 51, 36 were Muslims and 15 were Hindus. And if you see the Godhra train burning case also in 2002, during the Gujarat riots that ended up killing 1,044 persons, and still 223 members are missing, and more than 2,500 members are injured. Of those who died in the Gujarat riots, which took place in 2002, 790 were Muslims and 254 were Hindus. According to the unofficial sources, that estimates that more than 2,000 persons are died in 2002 Gujarat riots. And there were instances of rape. Children are burnt alive, and widespread looting and destruction of property also has happened during the 2002 Gujarat riots. It is also believed that during the Godhra train burning incident, where 59 persons who are returning from Ayodhya after a religious prayer at Ayodhya, and that was happened where 59 Hindus were burnt alive in a train. And in that also during the aftermath, whatever the riots which happened, there were instances of rape. Children are being killed. They were burnt alive, and the looting of property and destruction of property also has happened. And if you see, according to the Amnesty International, that says that India is facing caste-based discrimination, and people are still, according to it, there is a caste-based discrimination which is happening in our country. According to the Amnesty International, it is the responsibility of the Indian government to fully enact and apply legal provisions to control or to eradicate this caste-based discrimination in our country. And even Indian Constitution, if you see, that mentions that the right to freedom of speech and expression is a fundamental right of every citizen in this country. However, this freedom of the speech and expression is again subject to the reasonable restrictions that were laid down under Article 19.2 of the Indian Constitution, and where the freedom of speech and expression is restricted when it affects the sovereignty, integrity of the country's state, security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, preserving the decency and morality in relation to contempt of court, defamation, and incitement to an offense. And laws such as Official Secrets Act and Prevention of Terrorism, etc. Under these acts, also many of the instances, the innocents also were detained by the governments, and they were being tortured in the police custody. And according to the Delhi High Court, earlier, if you see, the homosexuality was considered as a criminal offense, and people used to uh, be detained in jails, etc., for this reason. And until the Delhi High Court that decriminalized the consensual private sexual acts between the consenting adults in 2009, homosexuality was considered as a criminal offense under Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code. And later on, the Supreme Court of India uh, in 2013, again on December 11, 2013, homosexuality was again criminalized by the Supreme Court of India, but on 6th September 2018, a five-judge constitutional bench of the Supreme Court of India in a landmark judgment again decriminalized the homosexuality. And even we have the Dowry Prohibition Act. In many of the instances, the women are being subject to killing. They were burnt alive, and in some of the cases, they were harassed by the in-laws, and due to that torture, etc., women are also being killed by themselves. They have committed suicide, etc. And Muslim women personal law also, where the women if you see the triple talaq, etc., the rights of the women are being violated by the husbands. Uh, and gender inequality is also a major problem, where women are being discriminated in providing health, education, and they might not get equal opportunities like the boys in their families, etc. And in politics also, women are being subject to various due to various reasons. They might not be fully participating in the political processes, etc. And gender inequalities still prevail in our country, and sex ratio and women's health is also a major problem. That is where the rights are violated by even the family members or the individuals in our country. And educational attainment, when you compare with the boys, girls are not provided the same kind of education also, according to various reports. Gender discrimination is still is there in our country. And if you see, since according to a report by the Human Rights Watch, that says that India has more serious human rights concerns, and the citizens in this country are facing a lot of human rights issues, etc. Free speech also has under attack, both from the state and by the interest groups, etc. And if you see a major, there are many instances where the government of India tried to protect the rights of individuals. And in the year 1950, on 26th January, the Constitution of India came into force, where the Constitution of India declares India as a sovereign, secular uh, democracy, where the individual's rights are protected and the public representatives are elected by the people in this country, as India is a democratic country. India is also a socialist, secular, and democratic country, where India is a secular country where the all the religions are equally treated, and individuals also have the right to freedom of religion as a fundamental right, and individual can profess uh, any religion, and they can preach, or they can attend a place of worship of their own choice, etc. And India does not have a religion called its state religion, etc. And equally, all the religions are treated in our country. And in the year 1952, the Criminal Tribes Act was repealed by the government. Then in the year 1955, reform of family law concerning Hindus gives more rights to Hindu women. And Untouchability Offences Act also was enacted in 1955. 1958, Armed Forces Special Powers Act was enacted. In the year 1973, the Supreme Court of India, in Keshavananda Bharati case, said that the Constitution of India, the fundamental rights, is not alterable by the constitutional amendment in the year 1975, during this emergency, which was imposed by Srimati Indira Gandhi in our country. Major the rights of the citizens are even suspended during 75 and 76. Even the media institutions were not having the freedom of speech and expression. In the year 1977, extensive rights violations took place, and in the year 78, the Supreme Court of India rules in Menaka Gandhi versus Union of India. The right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution cannot be suspended even during the emergency. In the year 1978, Jammu and Kashmir Public Safety Act was enacted. In the 1984, Operation Blue Star, where the anti-Sikh riots took place after the Operation Blue Star, where the Babri Masjid was attacked by the armed forces under the guidance of Srimati Indira Gandhi. And later on, anti-Sikh riots which happened After that, Srimati Indira Gandhi was also killed. In the year 1984, 2006, extrajudicial disappearances were happened in Punjab by the police. In the year 1985 and 86, the Shabano case where the Supreme Court of India recognized the Muslim woman's right to maintenance upon divorce. In the year 1987, Hashimpura massacre has happened and during the communal riots in Meerut, etc. In the year 1989, the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act was enacted in the year 1989. And till 1989 to present, Kashmiri insurgency ethnic system. In the year 1992, the constitutional amendment establishes the self-government or the Panchayat Raj institutions where it is a move with it is a third kind of government where in the Panchayat Raj institutions 50% of the seats are reserved for women. In the year 1992, Babri Masjid was demolished. After that, the communal riots took place in our country. And a landmark initiative by the government is in the year 1993, the Human Rights Commission was established by the central government under the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993. And the Supreme Court in 2002, the Gujarat riots took place where Muslims and Hindus, more than thousands of Muslim and Hindus were killed. And in the 2005, just we have discussed in the previous class, the Right to Information Act was enacted, which provides the citizens the access to the information which is held by the public authorities. And in the year 2005, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act was enacted that guarantees the universal right to employment for the citizens. 180 days of work is being provided under the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. And okay. So even later on, the right to food was also enacted by the government, which used to provide footprints for the persons who work. And later the right, ma'am, I came to yes, where we were. So in the year 1993, the based on the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993, the National Human Rights Commission was established in the year 1993. The National Human Rights Commission is which is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in our country. It is a body which is according to the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993, the human rights are defined as the rights relating to life, liberty, and equality of individuals, which are guaranteed by the Constitution or any other law which is in force. Yes, is it not stable? My internet. Okay, I will see. I'm connecting to some other net. We'll see. Maybe network problems. So if you see the objectives of NHRC, the NHRC based on the Protection of Human Rights Act, which listed the following objectives. Yes. So here, the NHRC is can inquire, or on a sumo basis, it can also take up the petitions where the rights of the individuals are violated in our country. In a case, the violation of human rights, etc., if a public authority is neglected to protect the rights of the citizens, or on its own, the NHRC or the State Human Rights Commission, they can take up the cases where the rights of the citizens are violated. And it is also the function of the NHRC where it can intervene any court proceedings where the rights of the individuals are violated, or the human rights cases are pending in court, etc., by the approval or by the consent of the such court where the investigation is happening. And the NHRC, it can visit any place where the people are detained, or like a prison service or any other uh, place for the time being in force where people are detained for reformation, or people are lodged for the purpose of treatment or reformation, or for the purpose of protection, etc. And they can study the living conditions of the inmates, and they may make recommendations regarding effective implementation of their rights. Then it is also the duty of the NHRC to review the safeguards which are provided under the Constitution or any other law for the time being in force for the protection of human rights, and recommend measures for their effective implementation. And it also can study the review the factors including the acts of terrorism where it inhibits the enjoyment of human rights, and it can make recommendations regarding, yes. So they may recommend appropriate remedial measures also. The NHRC and SHRC can study the treaties or other international instruments on human rights and make recommendations for their effective implementation. And the NHRC may undertake and promote research in the field of human rights. And it is also the responsibility of the NHRC or SHRC to spread human rights literacy among various sections of the society. It has a responsibility to promote the human rights in the society, and it is also the responsibility of the NHRC to create awareness among the members about the role the NHRC is playing in the field of human rights in protection of the human rights. The NHRC also encourages the efforts of non-governmental organizations or individuals or the institutions which are working in the field of the protection of human rights. And it is also the duty of the NHRC, if it is necessary for the protection of human rights, they can consider any other issues which is maybe assigned by the state government or central government to it. If you see the composition of the NHRC, the NHRC consists of a chairperson and 5 other members, excluding the ex officio members of the NHRC. The chairperson of the NHRC has been a Chief Justice of India or a Judge of Supreme Court of India, according to the 2019 Amendment Act of the NHRC. One member who is or has been a Judge of Supreme Court of India, one member who is or has been the Chief Justice of any High Court, 3 members, out of which at least one shall be a woman, who is to be appointed among the persons who are having knowledge or practical experience in matters relating to human rights. 2019, which made it clear to have one woman member out of the three members who are appointed among the persons who have knowledge or practical experience in matters related to human rights. And when it comes to the ex officio members of NHRC, the chairperson, National Human Rights Commission for Scheduled Caste, National National Commission for Scheduled Caste, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, the chairperson, the chairperson, National Commission for Women, the chairperson, National Commission for Minorities, chairperson, National Commission for Backward Classes, chairperson, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, and the Chief Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities will serve as the ex officio members of the National Human Rights Commission, which means for the ex officio members of the NHRC, the NHRC will have one chairperson and four other members. One chairperson who has been a Chief Justice of India or a Judge of Supreme Court of India. One member who is or has been a Judge of Supreme Court of India. One member who is or has been Chief Justice of any High Court. Three members are the persons among the persons who are having knowledge or practical experience in matters related to the human rights. Apart from that, the NHRC also has the ex officio members and the chairpersons of various commissions and etc. will serve as ex officio members. The chairperson, National Commission for Scheduled Castes, the chairperson, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, Chairperson, National Commission for Women, Chairperson, National Commission for Minorities, Chairperson, National Commission for Backward Classes, Chairperson, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, and Chief Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities, etc. will serve as the ex officio members. The sitting judge of a Supreme Court or sitting Chief Justice of any High Court also can be appointed as the members only after the consultation with the Chief Justice of Supreme Court of India as the members. If you see the present chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, Arun Kumar Mishra, Justice Arun Kumar Mishra, who is a former judge of Supreme Court of India, who is appointed as the chairperson, National Commission for National Human Rights Commission on June 2nd, 2021. He is the one who presided over by H.L. Dadu, who served as the chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, who served till December 2nd, 2020. If you see the list of the chairpersons who served as the chairpersons of the National Human Rights Commission, the first one is Justice Ranganath Mishra, who first appointed as the chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission on October 12, 1993. On the day itself, the National Human Rights Commission was established or constituted, October 12th, 1993. And the second one is Justice M.N. Venkatachalaya, who served as a chairperson of NHRC from 26 November 1996 to 24th October 1999. Next, the third chairperson, Justice J.S. Verma, who served as a chairperson from 4th November 1999 to 17th January 2003. Justice A.S. Anand served as the chairperson from 17th February 2003 to October 31st, 2006. Justice Shivraj Patil, who served as the acting chairperson of NHRC from November 1st, 2006 to April 1st, 2007. The fifth chairperson of the NHRC, Rajendra Babu, Rajendra Babu, who served from April 2nd, 2007 to 31st May 2009. Justice G.P. Mathur, acting chairperson, who served as the chairperson of NHRC from June 1st, 2009 to 6th June 2010. Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, 6th chairperson of NHRC, served from June 7, 2010 to 11th May 2015. Justice Syriac Joseph, who was acting chairperson of NHRC, who served as the chairperson of NHRC from May 11, 2015 to 28th February 2016. H.L. Dattu, who is the 7th chairperson of the NHRC, served from 29th February 2016 to 2nd December 2020. Justice Prafulla Chandra Pant, who served as the acting chairperson of NHRC from May 2nd, 2021 to June 1st, 2021. And the 8th chairperson of the NHRC, Arun Kumar Mishra, he is the current chairperson of NHRC, who is serving from June 2nd, 2021 till present. When it comes to the appointment of the chairperson and other members of the NHRC, under Section 2 and 3(4) of the Protection of Human Rights Act that lays down the procedure for appointment of the chairperson and the members of the NHRC. The chairperson and other members of NHRC, except the ex officio members, are to be appointed by the President of India on the recommendation of a committee. The committee consists of the Prime Minister, who acts as the chairperson of that committee, the Home Minister, who is a member of the committee, the Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, and Leader of Opposition in Rajya Sabha, the Speaker of Lok Sabha, and the Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. They serve as the members of the committee, and the Prime Minister is the one who is acting as the chairperson of the committee, which is recommending the names of the chairperson and the members of the NHRC, except the ex officio members. And the President of India has powers to remove the chairperson or the members of the NHRC, except the ex officio members. Along with that, the chairperson or any other member, by notice in writing under his hand, addressed to the President of India, may resign from their offices. And the chairperson and any other member shall be removed only by the order of the President. And if you see the term of the chairperson and other members of the NHRC, the chairperson and the members of the NHRC will hold office for a term of 3 years from the date on which they join to duties or until they attain the age of 70 years. Earlier, if you see, the term of the chairperson used to be 5 years, but in 2019, the Protection of Human Rights Act was amended in 2019, which proposes the chairperson and other members of the NHRC will hold office only for a term of 3 years or until they attain the age of 70 years. And a person who was appointed as a member shall also hold office for a term of 3 years from the date he enters upon his office. And earlier, the members of the NHRC may be appointed again, but the term was restricted to 5 years. But the 2019 Amendment Act says that the members can be again reappointed as the members of NHRC, and they removed the limit of 5 years term for the members. When it comes to the State Human Rights Commission, the functions of the State Human Rights Commission and the National Human Rights Commission are same. And at present, if you see, 26 states in our country have their own State Human Rights commissions to exercise the powers and function as the State Human Rights Commission. And if you see the Telangana State Human Rights Commission, it was constituted in December 2019 and appointed Justice Chandraya as the chairperson of the separate Telangana State Human Rights Commission. Earlier, Justice Nisar Ahmad Kakru, who served as the chairperson of the AP, United Andhra Pradesh State Human Rights Commission. He served as the chairperson of the State Human Rights Commission till December 2016. And the Telangana State Human Rights Commission was constituted in December 2019. When it comes to the State Human Rights Commission, the composition of the State Human Rights Commission, it consists of a chairperson, the chairperson who has been a Chief Justice of a High Court, one member who is or has been a judge of High Court or district judge in the state with a minimum of 7 years experience as the district judge. One member to be appointed among the persons who are having knowledge of or practical experience in matters related to the human rights. Appointment of the chairperson and members of the State Human Rights Commission. The State Human Rights Commission chairperson and other members are to be appointed by the governor of the concerned state, and also the chairperson and other members of the State Human Rights Commission may, by giving notice under in writing under his hand addressed to the governor of the concerned state, may resign from their offices. And also the chairperson and the members of the State Human Rights Commission shall be only removed from his office by the order of the president. Then if you see the powers of the NHRC or the State Human Rights Commission, they will have powers like any other civil court. They can summon and enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath. They also discover and also produce any kind of evidences or documents. They also can receive the evidence or affidavits. They can obtain any public record or copy thereof from any court or any office which is under the controls of the government, the state, etc. They can issue directives for the examination of witnesses, and also they can examine the documents. And every complaint that is transferred by the commission is something where it will look after. So anyone who feels that his rights are violated by an individual or a group or a government, etc., they can approach the National Human Rights Commission or the State Human Rights Commission for the protection of their own rights. And they have to undersigned, the case is not in any of the court. Then they can file a case in the SHRC, the State Human Rights Commission, or the the National Human Rights Commission. And when it comes to the annual report of the National Human Rights Commission, it has to be presented to the concerned state government. Along with that, it has to submit their annual report to the central government. And when it comes to the state government, the state Human Rights Commission has to submit its report to the state government, and the report has to be discussed or laid before the House of the State Legislative Assembly. And when it comes to the annual report of the NHRC, the National Human Rights Commission, it should be tabled before the both houses of the Parliament. Yes, what do we have? So anyone, so in the class today we have discussed about where the rights of the individuals are violated. We have discussed about, but we can't approach for legal help to local police. Yes, Usha, you can approach, but in some of the cases, like we have discussed about the civil rights, fundamental rights, and human rights also, where some of the rights are not directly guaranteed by the Constitution, and they are not considered as a right of the individuals. In some of the cases, like your dignity or your freedoms are violated by the individuals, or you are being threatened by any of the mobs, and if they interfere with your life, etc. In those kind of cases, you can approach the State Human Rights Commission, ask before you approach the High Court, etc. Here, all the cases might not be able to be filed in the High Court, and you know how the procedure happens in the civil courts like High Courts or Supreme Courts, etc. But before you go there, you can approach the SHRC or NHRC. If you fail to get justice here, you can approach the civil courts like High Court or Supreme Court, and you can lodge for any of the violations. Suppose you are saying that you can go for legal help from riding a two-wheeler vehicle with LR is legally wrong. So in suppose again you will be abide by different laws, no? Again, like road safety acts will be there, and you will have the transco, whatever may be the acts will be there, but you have to see. And you, like a consumer, you also have special rights. Okay, so for enforcing these human rights, you can approach the Human Rights Commission. Just now I said that the NHRC and SHRC on their own also, they can take up the cases on a sumoto basis where the rights of the people are violated. Like just now I said that in the beginning, custodial deaths where the persons are killed by the police, and they claim that in self-defense they killed the other persons when they are in their custody, or in fake encounter cases, those cases are filed against the police person. So where you approach, again it is you can approach the SHRC and NHRC, because these are the independent bodies, and they do have the powers like any other civil courts. So in those kind of cases, the NHRC and the SHRC hold inquiries, and they can procure the evidences from the police persons, state government, and others, and immediately they may call for the witnesses, and they can also the justice might be not delayed more if you approach the Supreme, the NHRC and SHRC. But in every law, yes, I know there are certain loopholes. Uh, we can't do anything about that. Yes. So we'll leave the session. It's already one. Tomorrow, I think we will discuss about the Cinematography Act. So we are done with. So when it comes to sometimes, as you are a journalism students, they may ask you to write about what is the role of media in protecting or in promotion of human rights, etc. Yes, the media has a special role, like in those kind of cases where the rights are violated. The media can make aware the people about their own rights, what are their rights and responsibilities, etc. Media, by printing the news where the rights of the citizens are violated, they can make the people aware of how the rights violations are happening, and if they come to know about the legal remedies which are available, people may approach those kind of organizations where they can get legal help or any other support, etc. And the media also may promote about the individuals who are working in the field of human rights protection, etc., or the NGOs. And media also, by printing the news, it can also disseminate the information which makes the people aware of their rights, etc. And it is also the responsibility of every individual, not only the media, but it is also a responsibility of the every citizen to disseminate the information relates to the rights, whatever we have, etc. But as mass media is a medium which can disseminate the information simultaneously to the large number of audiences, because of that, the media is considered as a way which can disseminate the information for the larger audience at a time. That is why we can use this kind of platforms to reach each and every section of the individuals. And during the communal violence, etc., media can act like a peacemaker, which may try to reduce the communal violence in our country by promoting the peace and harmony among the members in our country. And yes, in those kind of situations, media acts as a peacemaker, and it promotes the communal harmony in our country. And if you see the custodial deaths or bonded labor, caste-based discrimination, the violation of Dalits, or killing massacre, or what you call Dalit massacres, etc., or when the women's rights are violated, women are killed due to uh, dowry deaths when it happened, etc., or the child abuse, human rights, human trafficking when it happens, etc. It is only the media which makes the people aware of all these kind of instances, and media has a special role on its own. It can some way or the other which provides information, and which also may act as a bridge between the government and the normal public, and the media institution may make the government or the officials responsible, and it can remind the individuals responsibilities, or the public authorities whatever the responsibility they have for the public, etc. So they may make the government accountable for protecting the rights of the people, etc. So in those ways, media has also a role in protection and dissemination of information relates to human rights. Yes, I am leaving the session now. Yes, Usha, you have any doubt?
Even a child under 18 years also can be a part of a media to work, ma'am. Like media and
No, if you see, according to the Children Act, we have the special acts again. Uh, no person shall be allowed to work. Those who are under 14 years of age. But after 18 only, you will become a major and you can work. But under 18, you can't work. But according to the Amendment Act of Children Act that was amended recently, 2 3 years back, which says that a person can work even in any of the kind of factories or any places to support their family members. So that will not be a crime.
But the child's privacy of the age will be means like it will not be
18.
disclosed.
Yes. But even if you are working for your family, if your rights are violated, your family members or you have to approach any of the one. But if you are not approaching for any justice, who will take care of your things? Yes.
Currently in today's world, ma'am, to approach justice is like mere waste, ma'am. We will be roaming around the peers.
I know how it
Nothing will be
systems
worked
work.
out.
I know. I even filed my own case in High Court. It took from 2014 to 22. I waited for almost more than 8 years, and the judgment came in favor of the government itself. I filed a case against Usmania University. But what we can do, we can just approach the courts and we can claim ourselves what are our rights, how our rights are violated. But even if you see, in my case, the first person is not eligible for the post, but I am the one who is eligible for the post. The selection committee made recommendations of the first person who is not even eligible for the post and who is not should be allowed to go for the interview also. But he was blatantly allowed, and they took the interview of the candidate and they recommended the name of the person for the position of assistant professor. And in my case, I stood in second place. I was not given a position. Even the High Court itself said in its first judgment that the person should not be appointed as the assistant professor in Usman University. But the post is still vacant, and the judgment came after 8 years. And now the court says that it is already too late to give you appointment, and it directed the university to again go for conducting interviews by giving a fresh advertisement. What is the use of filing a case? Under Right to Information Act, they gave me the information after 3 years, the whatever the marks which were awarded by the selection committee. So that is the process which is happening. We have each and every law, but blatantly they deny. I don't know how the systems work. If
Ma'am,
educated, hmm, yes,
according to Right to Information Act, if
yes.
someone complain means like files a petition in PS, do
Not us. PI.
the victim has a right to information of the culprit's details, ma'am?
Yes, we have. But in certain cases, if you see, when it is going to endanger the security of a person, etc., in those kind of cases, they might not provide you the information. Because it is they call it as a personal information, or it is maybe the persons are under trial. In those kind of cases, they might not provide you the information, claiming that as a reason. If they want, they can provide because you are not going to do anything. No. If
Yes,
it
ma'am.
endangers the life and security of a person, in those kind of cases, they might not give you the information. But when the case is under trial, also they will not provide you the information because it might hinder the process of investigation. No, in those kind of, they may claim different reasons for denying the information. In my case, only it took 2.5 years to get my information. No, so the same thing might happen. And we approached the what you call the Information Commission. And when they called the university fellows, the public information officers, they also were absent. And later they gave an order to provide information to me. Then they gave me the information. So that happens. Who will have that much patience to go round and round and get information also? And
If the victim comes to journalists like us,
yes.
can we articulate in our journal, ma'am?
But in certain cases, even if a person is under trial, you cannot claim the person as a till the last judgment which comes, he is under trial only. You cannot claim the person as a culprit, even though culprits go might be given as a clean sheet at the end of the day. Because as we are journalists, again, the individuals have right to privacy, you know. The family members and individuals do have their own privacy rights. And now Supreme Court of India claims that right to privacy is also a fundamental right. And anyone, like just now you said, under trials or the persons, the names should not be disclosed. Like, according to NBA guidelines or Press Council of India guidelines, we should not disclose any information that leads to the identity of a person or the family. So you cannot print that information. So and so person, so and so thing that happened. But in those kind of cases, these are the one who are suspects only, we can say. But even though they have committed the crime, that has to be proved by the court in trial. Then after that only you can print that the person has committed a crime.
So we can articulate it in such a way that the suspect has absconded the
yes, you can claim
by
him
leaving
as
the
a
victim.
suspect.
By leaving the victim.
But you cannot disclose the victim's name or any other particulars which leads to the identity of the victim, because it may cause embarrassment to the victim and also the family members. So in suspect case, you can disclose the name of the suspect in a way that he is also a suspect in this case, but you should not reveal the name of the victim.
But in my friend's case, ma'am, victim's name is revealed. All the information was given to the suspect, but suspect's name was not given to the victim's family.
Okay. So it happens when you have power. What can we do? We have those kind of systems work here, no?
Yes, ma'am.
We have all those laws, but
so how to face such challenging working atmosphere, ma'am? Because as a journalist, we have to bring out the truth. That is the main criteria.
But at the end of the day, your security is also important. Your family security also important, no? If you want to disclose all that details and you want to fight for your person, again, you are might also be entering into a place where your life and your family is also maybe under risk. The same thing happens, no? If you see Right to Information Act, if you read, more than 500 members are being killed in this when they are maybe digging into the details under under Right to Information Act, when they want to get information from the government or the other private parties, etc. So even the journalists, if you read the conflict reporting, the journalist version also, many of the journalists are also being threatened by the mobs, by the government itself, armed forces, whatever it may be. So yes, sometimes we feel that we can't say anything. We feel that we tell people that you have to report in your objective, accurate, unbiased way. But even the media institutions, I'm not sure how far they are following all those ethics.
Even to file an FIR,
Yes.
they are taking more than 6 days now.
FIR should be filed within minutes. And
petition is given 6 days back. Till now, FIR is not filed. Every day they are giving an excuse. In such case,
yes.
What means what is the?
We don't have any other alternative. If you approach DGP or the higher officials, etc., again they might ask these persons only to file the FIR because they are under their own jurisdiction. No,
yes.
The others will not take up your cases because it is falling under one person's jurisdiction. Again, yes, it happens. We also seen how corrupt the police persons are.
Can we directly approach magistrate, ma'am? Means like can we suggest the victim's family to approach magistrate directly?
How can they approach? I don't think so. We will have the right to approach a magistrate directly. I don't know whether the possibilities are there or not. But you can approach the higher officials. Like if a SI is not taking up your FIR or he is not registering FIR, etc. In those kind of cases, You can approach the police commissioner where the commissioner will be there. He may assist you or help you. Madam, end the class.
They are threatening the victim's family that it will be problem for you. That is, and that's the reason we are not taking. They are denying to take. Whereas victim's family has no role. They are saying we are okay to face the consequences. Still, the FIR is not. So means like they have come to me because they means like as a journalist student. So what to do as a suggestion?
Okay. Usha, university is asking me to end the session. You can just note down my number is there. If you want, you can call. Okay.
1 moment, no? No.
It is there in the inbox.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Yes, thank you.